Allie Carter on the fires in California. Hi, my name is Dr. Lily M. Coley, and this is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I am happy to be here today to talk about what I want to talk about today, and that's Allie Carter and her, I want to say her intuition or her belief or whatever you want to call it on the fires in California. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the fires there, and for the obvious reasons. There's a lot of stuff that has come or transpired because of the fires, and at the end of the day, it's not a good look for some of the things that are happening there in terms of how it happened and why. Well, Allie Carter, is one of the young ladies in the Diddy case who has said she is a victim of the trafficking as it related to child protective services. Yeah, you guys heard me. She said she was in child protective services at the age of 15 around this time, and she was trafficked along around in this regard in different parts of California. And those particular areas, she claims and said, and I believe y'all, that those locations would probably catch on fire to try to destroy evidence. Well, that's exactly what happened, everybody. So we want to talk about a little bit this, but some of the stuff is even beyond her. Some other people kind of head on to it too. And some of the officials from some of the locations there kind of said the same thing. So I want to play a couple clips here, and I'm going to try to make the sound as loud as I can so that you can see what we're talking about. And this is basically dealing with the fires that were and is in California coming down, but how they started, why they started, and what's going on with the situation now. That's what we're going to talk about. And I want to get your input on what you think really happened here. And I know there's a lot of talk. And I think for me and my family, the reason why it's important is because some of this stuff overlaps with things that happened to me and my godson, Ramir Sadaway, when it came down to court stuff and how people, it appeared, that wanted to cover up the cover up. And this is court staff, this is judges, this is people that's in that whole arena. But now you see another dimension here, a dimension that kind of don't look so great, everybody. But hey, who knows? At the end of the day, let's see, because there's a lot of talk out there and the talk could be what it is. So I'm going to play a clip and then we'll talk about it on the other side. So this is basically this part here. I got the clip from a friend of mine that sent it to me. And this is Joe Biden, of course. He's giving his analysis of what the fires look like to him in California, just so we're clear.
Believe is true. Just take a look at these videos.
It looked to me as I traveled when I was out with you in California, what it reminded me of more of a war scene where you had
a war scene.
Certain targets that were bombarded, where
targets that were bombarded.
Artillery was just blew them up.
Artillery just blew them up. What is he talking about?
With no rhyme or reason. In other words, you have this fire going crazy and burning everything down and tree houses being fine. Nothing's happening. Or neighborhoods that were still green.
What is he talking about, y'all? Let me know down below in the comments.
My first piece of advice to you is let's take care of our mental and physical health first before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire.
Did y'all hear that? He said he wanted to rebuild the communities back better before we started these fires. I'm going to play it again for you.
It's going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire.
So in a nutshell, that's what we wanted to talk about. And we know Allie Carter, and I'll get you a video of her. She talked about the fires too. She said to be careful, to wait for them. And she said some other things related to what could happen. Now, we know these are allegations, but they're serious, y'all. And sometimes I think as a nation, as a country, you got to stop unclogging your ears and listen to what you need to listen to. Now, I'm not saying everything's right. There is a lot of drama going on with her and her mother, Allie Carter, her mom. The only thing I want to say about her to her mother is don't do this stuff with your daughter online. I know she's online doing what she's doing. It might have been some concerns why y'all was separated and didn't have relationships, blah, blah, blah. But take your daughter offline. Don't go online and do your daughter. I wouldn't do it. I'm not saying you got to do what I'm saying. I'm just giving you a suggestion because I feel like you and her have been through a lot already. Y'all don't need to do this online. If she's been doing what she's been doing online, she's been doing it for a reason. She's been doing it for a reason. I my personal opinion, I believe her. I believe what she's saying is true. Um, and that she is a victim of some circumstances that happened. I don't know all the semantics, but she appears to have a lot of credible information and details and blah, 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 blah. And I just feel like we need to listen. All right, this is her here, everybody. And she's talking a little bit about the fire stuff and the fire stuff. So let's just listen in.
What is going to crumble when they see his next arrest? In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers. You know who's on those flight logs. You do. You know who should be arrested. You all do. You know that that laptop from hell is real. You know that the black book is real. You know Ghislaine Maxwell's customers are who everybody is watching in the everyday news, including those who you drop your kids off with every day. Your schools, your doctors, big banks, Chase Bank, Bank of America. There is a lot of people that are attached because this goes very deep. I told y'all this is a spider web that is tangled and tangled and tangled and woven intricately. I am telling you right now that once one goes, it's going to pull on a big string. That arrest is coming.
Hollywood's on fire, and Allie Carter's spilling secrets that'll make your jaw drop because she's claiming that these fires are not as random as they might seem, because she's claiming that the fire...
But the whole point was to hear her mouth, to see her, and to get a feel for her. And I'm not going to go into any deep things because I don't know too much about the entire story to talk about everything she says. I am pointing out clearly about the California fires. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because some of the California fire stuff related to, obviously, what it appears to be related to a legal matter. And if the legal matter saying that how far will people go to cover the cover up and how deep can things go? And it appears to us, people that are everyday people, if you will, are seeing a young woman who says she was a victim, says that she went through what she went through. I mean, I was a victim to certain stuff too, and I can't prove it to certain people, certain things, but at the end of the day, and I shouldn't have to, people have to take you either at your word or believe you or not. Now, I have proof for some of the stuff, and when I say a victim, I mean a victim of court victim, because I consider myself a victim of a legal victim of a legal matter being involving a court, right? And she's saying the same things. And these things are, the church was more of the system. She's saying CPS, Child Protective Services, didn't do what they were supposed to do. And as a result, her not being protected by the court or the system, now you have this other thing that's going on, which is related to people who are need to be held accountable. And the people that need to be held accountable may be trying to cover the cover up. And she named some things, she named some people, blah, 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 because some of this stuff has been going on for a while. There's been some other persons who have been in jail with similar stuff and problems. The Maxwell lady, for sure. We know Epstein, Einstein, they're been out there as well. This was human trafficking or children trafficking. And she's saying that she was a part of it. So at any rate, the whole thing was the fires and that people sometimes will do what they do. Now, the whole moral to it was the LA worker commissioner there said what he said in the video. The fires we started. Did he mean to say that? I think he did. But the whole point to that is that either they're in on it, colluding, and then these other things happen. So that's a problem because the public, you and I, even them, but mainly the public, we ain't going for that.